In 2025, almost half of UK retirees are facing a harsh reality. Their retirement savings just won't be enough to last. Imagine spending 30 years in retirement, yet your pension is barely covering your basic needs. Rising living costs, insufficient savings, and poor investment returns are leaving millions of Britons financially vulnerable in their golden years. The state pension, once thought to be a reliable safety net, now barely scratches the surface of what's needed to maintain a comfortable lifestyle. What happens when the promise of retirement security falls apart? Many retirees are already feeling the squeeze. Healthcare costs, rising energy bills, and increasing property taxes are just the tip of the iceberg. For most, the dream of a stress-free retirement is slipping further and further away. But what can be done about it? With pensions failing to keep up with inflation, more and more are discovering that the system that was supposed to provide for them is, in reality, broken. How long will it take before more people realize the true cost of underestimating their future financial needs? As alarming as these facts are, there's still time to take control of your retirement destiny. But first, you need to understand why the UK retirement system is broken and how these flaws can affect you. Stay tuned as we break down the top 5 reasons the UK retirement system is falling apart in 2025 and what you can do to protect your financial future. Number 1. The rising cost of living. One of the biggest challenges facing retirees in the UK today is the rising cost of living, which continues to put immense pressure on pensioners. With inflation on the rise and everyday expenses climbing, many retirees find themselves in a difficult position where their income simply isn't enough to cover their basic needs. Housing costs have skyrocketed in recent years. Whether it's rent or mortgage payments, housing has become one of the most significant expenses for retirees. In fact, a recent report revealed that more and more retirees are spending over 50% of their income on housing alone. For those who own their homes, property taxes and maintenance costs are becoming increasingly burdensome. Food and energy prices are also rising rapidly. The cost of groceries, which already takes up a considerable portion of a pensioner's budget, has soared. At the same time, energy bills have hit all-time highs, largely due to global supply issues and increased demand. This makes it increasingly difficult for pensioners to make ends meet each month, as their pensions often fail to keep up with inflation. Moreover, transportation costs, which are vital for retirees to maintain their mobility and independence, have also been rising. Public transport fares and car maintenance have put an additional strain on the fixed incomes of retirees. For those living outside major cities, private transportation is often a necessity, adding further to their financial burden. The result of these rising costs is that retirees, especially those relying on a fixed income, are forced to make tough choices. Many are cutting back on essentials like healthcare, leisure activities, and even food, just to afford basic living expenses. It's a grim reality where financial insecurity is an ever-present concern for retirees. In this context, many are finding it difficult to maintain the lifestyle they expected after retirement. The promise of a comfortable, worry-free retirement is slipping away for many as they struggle to keep up with the skyrocketing costs. Unfortunately, many pension funds and savings were not designed to account for such rapid inflation. Practical advice for retirees facing this issue is to downsize their homes, if possible, to reduce housing expenses. Alternatively, they might consider looking for ways to increase their income, whether through part-time work, freelancing, or exploring government assistance programs designed for older adults. Number 2. Insufficient pension savings. Another major issue contributing to the broken retirement system in the UK is the widespread problem of insufficient pension savings. Despite efforts to encourage retirement saving, a significant portion of the population is still not putting away enough to secure a comfortable future. Many people are simply not saving enough during their working years, leaving them vulnerable as they approach retirement. One of the key factors behind this issue is the increasing life expectancy. People are living longer than ever before, and this creates a mismatch between how long they expect to live in retirement and how much they've saved. For example, a person who retired at 65 could now expect to live for 25 or even 30 more years, depending on health. However, if they haven't accumulated enough savings or invested wisely, they may face a financial shortfall in their later years. Reports indicate that nearly 50% of people in the UK are not saving enough for retirement. This is partly due to individuals relying too heavily on state pensions, which often fail to provide enough income to cover basic living costs. For many, the state pension isn't sufficient to maintain the standard of living they desire, and without additional savings, retirees are left with very little cushion when they stop working. The rise of gig economy jobs and the decline of traditional, long-term employment also contribute to this problem. Many workers, particularly younger generations, aren't able to contribute consistently to a pension scheme due to irregular employment. Freelancers, part-time workers, and those in the self-employed sector often miss out on the benefits of workplace pension schemes, which are a major source of retirement savings for full-time employees. Another factor is that many people underestimate the cost of living in retirement. There's a tendency to think that once they retire, their expenses will dramatically decrease. In reality, retirees often face rising healthcare costs, inflation, and unexpected expenses. Without sufficient pension savings, these unexpected costs can quickly drain their limited resources. To address this issue, the key advice is to start saving early. Even small contributions to a workplace pension plan or a private savings account can add up significantly over time. It's also crucial to take advantage of government incentives like tax relief on pension contributions, which can make a substantial difference. For those who have already retired, seeking advice from financial planners on how to optimize retirement, income is vital to ensure they can make their savings last through their golden years. Number 3. Increasing longevity. Without adequate financial planning, the increasing longevity of the population is another significant reason why retirement in the UK is facing a crisis in 2025. While living longer is undeniably a positive development, it presents serious challenges when it comes to financial planning. People are now living longer than ever before, often well into their 80s and beyond. However, many haven't saved enough to support themselves for these extended retirement years, leaving them at risk of running out of money. The average life expectancy in the UK has steadily increased over the past few decades. In 2025, the average life expectancy for both men and women is expected to exceed 80 years. For retirees, this means their retirement could last 30 years or more. In the past, many pension schemes were designed with the expectation of a 15 to 20-year retirement period. Now, with people living much longer, the money saved for retirement is often inadequate to last throughout these extended years. Unfortunately, this has resulted in a mismatch between retirement savings and the actual needs of retirees. When planning for retirement, most people don't consider how long they might actually live. Many assume they will only need to plan for about 20 years of retirement. But with longer lifespans, that assumption is becoming outdated. This lack of foresight can lead to financial struggles later in life when people find they've outlived their savings. The problem is exacerbated by the fact that most people aren't contributing enough to their pension funds to cover a 30-plus year retirement. Traditional pension plans often fall short of the mark because they don't account for extended lifespans or inflation over time. As a result, many retirees find themselves dipping into their savings earlier than expected, or even facing a future where they have to rely on state benefits and family support to survive. Healthcare costs also add to the burden. With longer life expectancies come increased medical needs. Many retirees will face significant healthcare expenses in their later years, whether for regular medical treatments, nursing home care, or specialized therapies. These costs can quickly eat away at savings, leaving little room for other expenses. To combat this, retirees and those nearing retirement must adjust their financial strategies. Planning for a longer retirement requires saving more throughout their working years. It's also crucial to diversify investments, not just relying on traditional pension funds, but also looking at options like stocks, bonds, and ISAs to generate additional income streams. Those already in retirement should consider seeking professional financial advice to help manage their funds and ensure they last the distance. Number 4. Poor investment returns on pension funds. A significant issue that has contributed to the breakdown of the UK's retirement system is the poor investment returns on many pension funds. In recent years, low interest rates and economic volatility have resulted in pension pots growing at a much slower rate than expected. This has left many retirees with much smaller pension funds than they initially anticipated, putting their financial security in jeopardy. Traditionally, pension funds have relied heavily on fixed income investments such as bonds and savings accounts, which are considered safe but often offer low returns. In an environment where interest rates have remained at historic lows, these types of investments have failed to deliver meaningful growth. For retirees who were relying on these modest gains to fund their retirement, the lack of growth can lead to a substantial shortfall. Moreover, the global economic environment has been unpredictable, with market instability caused by factors like political events, global crises, and shifts in supply chains. These market fluctuations often cause pension investments to underperform and in some cases, even lose value. The 2008 financial crisis and the more recent COVID-19 pandemic are prime examples of how unpredictable events can have devastating effects on pension funds, especially for those already close to retirement. Another contributing factor is the fees associated with managing pension funds. Many pension plans charge high management fees, which can eat away at the potential returns. For example, some funds charge fees for administrative costs, investment management, and even penalties for early withdrawal. Over time, these fees add up and can significantly reduce the overall value of the pension pot, leaving retirees with far less money than they had planned for. In addition, many people don't take an active role in managing their pension investments. A lot of people simply rely on their default pension plans without fully understanding where their money is being invested or how their funds are performing. This lack of engagement can lead to poor investment choices and missed opportunities for growth. To address this issue, it's crucial for retirees to diversify their investments. Rather than relying solely on pension funds, they should explore other investment options such as stocks, bonds, and real estate to increase their chances of earning higher returns. Additionally, reviewing the fees charged by pension providers and seeking out low-cost alternatives can help maximize investment gains. Seeking professional financial advice can also help retirees make informed decisions to safeguard their financial future. Number 5. The decline of the state pension's value. The decline of the state pension's value is another crucial factor contributing to the broken retirement system in the UK. While the state pension is often considered a safety net for retirees, its value has been consistently eroded by rising inflation and a failure to increase in line with the cost of living. As a result, many retirees are finding it more difficult to rely solely on the state pension to support themselves, and is no longer enough to cover the basic costs of living. The UK's state pension system is designed to provide a basic income for individuals once they reach retirement age. However, in recent years, the amount provided has struggled to keep pace with the rising cost of living, especially inflation. Over time, the purchasing power of the state pension has declined significantly, meaning that it buys less than it did in previous decades. For example, inflation has caused energy prices, food costs, and other essential goods to rise sharply, while the state pension increase has often been below the rate of inflation. In 2025, the basic state pension stands at around £203.85 per week, which might seem like a reasonable amount. However, for many retirees, this amount is not sufficient to cover their monthly housing costs, utility bills, transportation, and other daily expenses. In reality, many retirees find themselves having to make tough decisions, like cutting back on food, healthcare, or other necessary spending simply to survive. The problem is further exacerbated by the aging population in the UK. As the number of retirees increases, the amount of money available to fund the state pension system has become more strained. The government has made some attempts to address this issue, such as raising the state pension age. But these measures often come too late to offer immediate relief for those already in retirement. For many retirees, relying solely on the state pension is simply not a sustainable option. The amount they receive is too low to maintain a decent standard of living, especially in the face of escalating costs. This has led to an increasing reliance on private pensions, savings, and additional income streams to supplement the state pension. To overcome this challenge, retirees must look at ways to diversify their income sources. Investing in private pension plans, individual savings accounts, ISAs, or even property investments can provide additional financial security. It's also vital to take advantage of government programs or financial advice that can help maximize income during retirement. Ultimately, the state pension alone is no longer enough to ensure a comfortable retirement, and planning beyond it has become essential. As we've seen, the UK retirement system is facing serious issues in 2025, from the rising cost of living to the declining value of the state pension. These challenges are forcing many retirees to rethink their financial plans and consider new ways to secure their future. The key takeaway here is simple. Planning early and diversifying your income sources is essential if you want to protect yourself against these growing risks. So what do you think? Are you ready to take control of your financial future? Or do you think the system will get better on its own? We want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and let us know your thoughts. Whether you agree, disagree, or have suggestions of your own, your feedback is what helps us keep creating valuable content. We pour tons of effort into bringing you these insightful videos, and it takes just one click to show your support by subscribing to our channel. By doing so, you'll never miss out on more important updates like this one. Don't wait. Subscribe now and stay ahead of the game.